Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. The internal stabbing. Kidney stones. Imagine waking up and feeling like a medieval knight decided to practice his sword skills on your lower back. No, you didn't pull a muscle reaching for the remote. You've just invited a tiny, jagged rock to a party in your urinary tract. Kidney stones are essentially crystallized minerals that decided to group up and form a jagged little souvenir inside you. Scientifically, they are often made of calcium oxalate, and while they look like harmless pebbles, they feel like you're trying to pass a shard of broken glass through a straw. The pain is so legendary that it's frequently ranked right up there with childbirth, though at least with a baby you get a tax deduction instead of a hospital bill and a jar of gravel. As the stone moves from the kidney to the bladder, the pain radiates in waves that can leave the toughest person curled in a fetal position, sobbing. It's a rhythmic, agonizing reminder that your body's plumbing system has a zero-tolerance policy for debris. If you've ever wanted to know what it feels like to be stabbed from the inside out without actually being in a fight, this is your golden ticket. Drink your water, folks, or your kidneys will throw stones. Number 7. The human pretzel. Tetanus. Think a little rust is just a vintage aesthetic for your garden tools? Think again, because tetanus is waiting to turn your body into a literal human bridge. Also known as lockjaw for those who prefer descriptive and terrifying nicknames. This lovely experience is caused by the Clostridium tetani bacteria. It usually enters through a puncture wound, like stepping on that rusty nail your neighbor definitely should have picked up 3 years ago. Once inside, it releases a toxin that hijacks your nervous system, causing your muscles to go into a permanent, agonizing CTRL-Alt-Delete freeze. Imagine your jaw slamming shut so hard you could bite through a hockey puck, followed by your entire spine arching backward in a sustained, involuntary cramp. Scientifically, these spasms are so violent they can actually fracture your own bones. It's like the world's most painful CrossFit session, except there's no protein shake at the end, just a long stay in a dark hospital room because even a light breeze or a loud noise can trigger another soul-crushing seizure. Unless you want to spend your month looking like a frozen gargoyle in a state of permanent ARG, go get that booster shot. It's a tiny prick now to avoid a massive bone-breaking disaster later. Your jaw and your dignity will thank you. Number 6. The suicidal migraine. Cluster headaches. If you've ever thought, gee, I'd love to feel like a demon is trying to exit my skull via my left eyeball with a red-hot ice pick, then cluster headaches are, for some reason, your dream come true. Unlike a regular, I drank too much wine headache, these are neurologically concentrated bursts of pure, unadulterated torture. They are called clusters because they arrive in groups, attacking you multiple times a day for weeks or months, like a bill collector who just won't take no for an answer. Scientifically, they involve the trigeminal nerve and the hypothalamus, but in layman's terms, it's a structural failure of your brain's peace and quiet department. The pain is so excruciating that they are nicknamed suicide headaches because patients have been known to bang their heads against concrete walls just to create a different sensation. There is no warning, no mercy, and usually no visible cause. You just suddenly feel like your brain is being fed through a wood chipper while someone pours salt into the wound. It's a rhythmic, stabbing agony that makes a typical migraine look like a gentle forehead massage. If you see someone pacing around, clutching their face and screaming in a dark room, don't ask if they've tried drinking more water. Just give them space and hope the demon inside finishes its renovations quickly. Number 5. The invisible fire. Fibromyalgia. Imagine if your nervous system decided to turn the volume knob of pain up to 11 and then broke the handle off. Welcome to fibromyalgia, the medical equivalent of having a computer virus that doesn't delete your files, but just makes every single click hurt like a punch to the gut. It's a chronic condition characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain, fatigue, and sleep issues. Scientifically, researchers believe it amplifies painful sensations by affecting how your brain and spinal cord process both painful and non-painful signals, a delightful little glitch called central sensitization. In other words, your nerves are constantly screaming "fire" in a building where someone just lit a scented candle. The worst part? It's completely invisible. On the outside, you look like you're just being a bit of a drama queen, but on the inside, it feels like you have a severe sunburn over 100% of your body, including your organs. Even a gentle hug can feel like being tackled by a linebacker wearing sandpaper armor. Then there's fibro fog, which makes your brain feel like it's trying to run modern software on a dial-up connection from 1995. There's no cure, no magic pill, and usually no sympathy from people who think a good stretch will fix it. It's a lifetime subscription to a club where the only perk is knowing exactly where every single nerve ending in your body is located. Number 4. The Tiny Terror, Irukandji Jellyfish. If you're vacationing in Australia and feel a tiny, insignificant prick while swimming, don't just shrug it off as a stray piece of seaweed. You might have just been kissed by the Irukandji jellyfish, a creature the size of a fingernail that packs enough venom to make you regret ever evolving from a fish. At first, you'll feel nothing, but after a 30-minute grace period, just enough time for you to get comfortable on your beach towel, the Irukandji syndrome kicks in. Scientifically, this venom causes a massive release of catecholamines, which is basically your body's fight-or-flight hormones on an industrial-strength bender. Your back and kidneys will feel like they're being crushed by a hydraulic press, and your skin will burn like it's being basted in acid. But the true highlight of this experience is the psychological side effect, an overwhelming clinical feeling of impending doom. It's not just, "oh, I feel sick," it's a soul-crushing certainty that you are about to die, leading patients to literally beg their doctors to kill them just to skip to the end of the movie. It's the only jellyfish in the world that gives you a panic attack so severe it makes a heart attack look like a relaxing spa day. So, if you see something translucent and tiny in the water, remember, it's not cute. It's a biological weapon that wants to ruin your life and your sanity simultaneously. Number 3. The Aquatic Ninja, the Stonefish. Meet the Stonefish, the ocean's most successful grumpy old man impersonator. This creature doesn't hunt you. It just sits there looking like a boring, mossy rock until you make the mistake of stepping on it. When you do, 13 sharp dorsal spines inject a potent neurotoxin directly into your foot. Scientifically, this venom causes massive tissue necrosis and cardiovascular distress, but your brain will simply register it as the worst day ever. Victims describe the pain as a simultaneous sensation of being burned, electrocuted, and having your leg put through a meat grinder. It's so intense that the stonefish scream is a recognized phenomenon in tropical emergency rooms. The agony spreads up your limb like a slow-motion explosion, causing your lymph nodes to swell to the size of golf balls. If you're lucky, you'll just lose consciousness from the shock. If you're unlucky, you'll stay awake to experience the full, unbridled fury of a fish that really just wanted you to stay off its lawn. In many cases, the pain is so neurologically overwhelming that patients have genuinely requested that doctors amputate the affected limb with a hacksaw just to make the screaming stop. So the next time you're wading in the surf, remember, if a rock looks back at you, it's not a rock, and your weekend is about to become a historical tragedy. Number 2. The Plant of Eternal Agony, Gympie-Gympie. Welcome to the Australian rainforest, where even the plants have a personal vendetta against you. The Gympie-Gympie tree looks like a harmless shrub with heart-shaped leaves, but it's actually a botanical nightmare covered in millions of microscopic hollow silica hairs. When you brush against it, these tiny needles break off into your skin and inject a potent neurotoxin called moroigan. Scientifically, this toxin is incredibly stable, meaning it doesn't break down easily. It can stay active in your system for months or even years. The pain is described as being burnt by hot acid and electrocuted at the same time. It's so severe that it triggers a massive immune response, making your lymph nodes under your arms feel like they're being squeezed in a vice. There's a legendary and horrifying story of a soldier who used a leaf as toilet paper and ended up shooting himself because the pain was so unbearable. Even dried specimens in museums can still sting you after 100 years. If you get stung, the treatment involves pouring diluted hydrochloric acid on your skin and then using wax strips to rip the hairs out. Yes, the cure is literally being waxed with acid. It's a plant that makes a bed of nails look like a memory foam mattress. If you see heart-shaped leaves in Queensland, just keep walking, or better yet, run until you reach a different continent.
Number 1. The 24-hour gunshot, the bullet ant. Finally, we've reached the heavyweight champion of agony, the bullet ant. Found in the rainforests of Central and South America, this ant doesn't just bite, it delivers a sting that earns its name by feeling exactly like being shot with a gun. Scientifically, the venom contains a neurotoxin called ponerotoxin, which blocks the central nervous system's ability to turn off pain signals. Imagine a fire that never goes out and a hammer that never stops hitting. On the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, this little monster sits at a 4.0 plus, the highest level possible. It's described as pure, intense, brilliant pain, like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch rusty nail embedded in your heel. And the fun doesn't stop after the initial hit. The waves of burning, throbbing torture last for a full 24 hours. In Brazil, the Satere Mawe tribe uses these ants in a rite of passage where young men wear gloves filled with hundreds of them. They have to endure it for 10 minutes while dancing to distract themselves from the fact that their arms are literally vibrating with neurotoxic shock. If you ever see a large reddish-black ant wandering the jungle floor looking like it owns the place, give it a wide berth. It's not just an insect. It's a living, breathing bullet that doesn't need a barrel to ruin your entire year. If you survived this tour of agony without your skin crawling, congrats! You're officially the coolest. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, share it with your squeamish friends, and subscribe to Coolest Dude Explains. We post daily videos to keep your brain sharp and your nerves on edge. See you tomorrow. Try not to step on anything.